Hello everyone. In this video where I'm going to show you how to use the chain rule to find the derivative. But we have two major questions here. What is a chain rule and when do we know that we need to use it? Well, the chain rule is basically find a way of finding the derivative when you have a more complicated equation that is kind of function inside another function, or we call it composite functions. So for example, if I have fx equal 2x minus 7 to the power of 5. So basically we have two functions here. The outer function, which is something to the power of 5, and the inner function, which is going to be u. We will call it u, okay? So we have u, which is 2x minus 7. That's a function. U to the power of 5 is the second function. Then we need to use the chain rule to find the derivative. Now, a chain rule basically tells you exactly what to do. To find the derivative, you take the derivative of just the outside function first, the outside or the outer function, and leave the inside part as is. So for example, in this case, I'm gonna take the outer, which is 2x minus 7, and of course you will reduce 5 by 1. And the next step, you will multiply this by the derivative of the inside function. So one more time, the outer function derivative multiply the inside function derivative, which is in this case the derivative of 2x minus 7 is 2, multiply 2. So this is what we are going to do to find the chain rule. So let's move on and try these questions here. A square root of 3 minus t. Well, the inner function is a 3 minus t. The outer function is a square root. So what we are going to do, we will first try to find the derivative of the outer function. But I want first to write p as an exponent to the power of 1/2. Now, in order to find the derivative, I'm taking 1/2 down. And I'm going to reduce 1/2 by 1. So 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And then I will multiply this by the derivative of whatever inside. Well, what is the derivative of 3 minus t? The derivative of 3 is 0. Negative t is negative 1. So multiply negative 1. Now to simplify, negative 1/2, 3 minus t to the power of negative 1/2. And negative 1/2 this is going to be a 1 over square root. So let's try the next question. Well, this question is a bit complicated because we do have two parts here and there's a multiplication in between them. So we're going to use u times v, which is u prime v plus uv prime. So I'm going to take the first part then we will move on to the next. So u equal x squared, u prime equal 2x. V equals sine 4x. Now v prime will be equal to, listen to this now, I'm going to move the 4 down, reduce the 4 by 1. And now it's a chain rule where you need to find out the inner function derivative, which is the derivative of sine. We need to know the derivative of sine, which is cosine x. So now I'm going to find the derivative for the first part, which is u prime times v plus u, which is x squared, v prime times 4 sine 3x cosine x. We will do the same for the second part as well. So the second part, u equal x u prime is 1. V equal cosine negative 2x. V prime will be equal, you put the negative 2 down, you reduce negative 2 by 1, which is going to be negative 2 minus 1, negative 3. And then you multiply by the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine x. So we're going to continue here saying u prime v plus, of course, plus 1 times cosine negative 2x plus u, and then v prime, negative 2 cosine negative 3x multiply negative sine x. Now time to put everything together and try to simplify if you can. So y prime will be equal to x sine 4x plus 4x squared sine 3x cosine x plus cosine negative 2x, and then negative sine and negative 2 is positive, 2 sine x cosine negative 3x. Now there's nothing to cross here, so we are done with this question. Now what about this one here? So f prime of x equal, okay, first I'm going to write it as 7 plus x secant x to the power of 1/2. So the derivative of outside is basically 1/2. 7 plus x secant x to the power of 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And then we need to multiply by the derivative of the inside function. The derivative of 7 is 0. The derivative of x secant x, we call u as x, and u prime is 1. V is secant x, v prime is secant x tangent x. So you are going to go here and say, okay, u prime v plus u v prime. Okay, so now you can simplify. Okay, it's going to be 1/2 7 plus x secant x to the power of negative 1/2, and that's going to be multiply secant x plus x secant x tangent x. Now you can simplify more. The numerator will be secant x plus x secant x tangent x over 2 a square root 7 plus x secant x. Okay, for this question we need to find the second derivative. So there's two functions has been multiplied, so let's call u equal x. U prime will be 1, and if v equal 2x plus 1 all to the power of 4, then v prime will be equal to, you put the 4 down, 4, then 2x plus 1 to the power of 4 minus 1, 3, and then the result you multiply it by the derivative of 2x plus 1, which is 2. So final answer will be 8, 2x plus 1 to the power of 3. Now u prime v plus u v prime. So y prime equal 1 times 2x plus 1 to the power of 4 plus u prime, which is which is x, multiply 8 2x plus 1 to the power of 3. Now you simplify. 8x 2x plus 1 to the power of 3. Okay, so now in order to take the second derivative, which is y double prime, you need to find the derivative of this part and this part. So for this part already we know it, so for this part it's already here, right? So it's going to be 8. I'm going to take it from here, okay guys? 2x plus 1 to the power of 3. And for the derivative of 8x, 2x plus 1, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call u is 8x, u prime is 8, v equal 2x plus 1 to the power of 3, v prime equal 3, 2x plus 1 to the power of 2 multiply 2, which is equal 6, 2x plus 1 to the power of 2. Okay, so now you're going to say u prime v plus uv prime. So plus u prime v, 8 times 2x plus 1 to the power of 3, plus u prime, u, which is 8x, multiply 6, 2x plus 1 to the power of 2. Okay, so now next we're going to simplify. So y double prime and then plus 8, 2x plus 1 to the power of 3 plus 48x 2x plus 1 to the power of 2. Now these two can be added. 8x cubed plus 8x cubed is 16x cubed. So in this case, 8 multiply the bracket plus 8 multiply the same bracket will be 16, 2x plus 1 to the power of 3, and then plus 48x 2x plus 1 squared. Now finally, I can simplify these two by taking 16 and this as a common factor, because between 16 and 48, 16 is a common factor. Between 2x plus 1 squared and 2x plus 1 cubed, 2x plus 1 squared is a common factor. Now you finish it by dividing each one of these by 16, 2x plus 1 squared by 16, and then 2x plus 1 squared. So you are multiplying each, you are dividing each. So what's going to happen? 16 will go with 16, and this will go with these two, with two of these. So it's going to be 2x plus 1. Here 16 will, with 48 will be 3, and this will cross out this, plus 3x. Now I'm going to finish it here. So my final answer will be 16, 2x plus 1 squared, and then 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 1. Okay, here we go. That's my final answer. That's everything in this lesson. Please let me know if you have any question, and see you next video. Bye bye.